guys, welcome back to the Style and Beauty Doctor on YouTube. So, as you may or may not know, in addition to my background in financial services and marketing, I also have a background in image consulting. It's how I've been able to give you guys such great style and makeup tips over the last 10 years on my blog and more recently here on YouTube. While I've covered how to dress for your body type on the blog in the past, I figured I'd make a video series here for my YouTube family. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the video for your body type. Okay, so let's get a couple things straight here with this dressing for your body series. Nobody wants to be told what they can't wear, and that is not what I'm doing here. What I am doing here is helping you realize the clothes that'll make you look amazing. So it's not like, it's to help you shop quicker, to help you get dressed faster. What this series will do is help you to focus on what looks amazing for your body type. So you're not constantly looking at other things, you're just focusing on what works for you. Now imagine how easy that makes not only shopping, but getting dressed. So there'll be less of those fitting room fights and attacks on your self-esteem because you know what's gonna work for you, okay? Make sure you also check out my video on the best colors for your wardrobe and makeup because that also ties into this whole thing here. Now, when we talk about body type here, I'm referring to your body shape. Tall, petite, and plus size are not body shapes. You cannot lump every tall person, you cannot lump every petite person, and you cannot lump every plus size person into the same category because it just does not work that way. You can be plus and tall, you can be petite and have an hourglass body, you can be plus and have an hourglass body and be tall. So, yeah. So, which brings me to another point. We all aren't in just one category. So say for instance, you are tall, plus size, you're a pear shape, and you have smaller boobs. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna zero in on the clothing that are long enough for your height, for your length. You're gonna pick out the clothing that fits your body size, of course. And you're gonna look at clothing that fits your shape, your pear shape, and things that either accentuate or make your boobs look bigger, depending on what you're trying to do. Now, I know that it kind of sounds like I'm taking away options, and don't think of it like that. I'm not taking away options. I am showing you the light towards what looks amazing on you. And let me tell you something, just as a personal anecdote, once I realized what looks good on my body type, I feel so much more confident because I'm not trying on things that make my body look in a way that I don't want it to look. I'm putting on things that look amazing and make me feel amazing, and that's all that really matters. So that's what I aim to do with this series. So today, we are going to talk about the triangle or pear shape. Now, if you need to figure out what your body shape is, make sure you check out this wonderful article on whowhatwear.com, which helps you use your measurements in order to figure out what your body shape is. Now, when you're talking about a pear shape, once you get your measurements, you'll realize that the shoulder width is much more narrow than the width of the hips. A pear shape typically has a very defined waist. Weight is usually carried in the hips, thighs, and booty, and you can be any size and be a pear. Please do not get it mixed up that, you know, again, like I mentioned earlier, that plus sizes are all lumped into one category. You can be plus size in any body shape, and you can be plus size and tall, plus size and petite, so on and so forth. And one body shape is not better than others. As you'll see in this series, there are clothing options out here for everybody to look good. So, hey. And my bad if my graphics are a little whack. This is what happens when you have a certain amount of budget. But hopefully, as this channel continues to grow and you watch more videos and you tell your friends and your friends' friends and you share my videos and stuff like that, I could have a bigger budget to have better graphics, okay? Back to the matter at hand, the pear shape. So the pear shape has a very defined waist, and the width of the hips are much wider than the width of the shoulders. So remember earlier in another dressing for your body video, I talked about lines and how they can make things look. So horizontal lines can make things look wider and shorter, whereas vertical lines can make an item look leaner and somewhat smaller. Now, understanding lines and how, you know, your clothing can make these sort of lines is very important, especially when it comes to dressing for your body shape, because if you put a horizontal line on your widest part, it's going to make that part look even wider. Now, that matters depending on what you're trying to achieve with your outfit. Are you trying to accentuate a certain area, or are you trying to make it more balanced? So keep that in mind as we go along. And of course on the Pear, the widest part is the hips. Now if you want to balance your Pear, a great silhouette for the Pear shape would be the fit and flare. Now I'm not limiting it just to these types of dresses, because if I were to go through all the clothing options available, this would be like a 3 to 4 hour long video, and we all don't have that kind of time. But just using these items as an example, as you can see, the bodice of these dresses are smaller, so it kind of shows off the more narrow torso and the more narrow shoulders on a Pear shape. And then the bottom flares out, so it gives you room for your ample hips and thighs, so you have a little room down there for your bottom half. You don't only have to rely on a fit and flare dress to create the silhouette. You can do that with separates as well to make this sort of silhouette. Here I chose tanks because it happens to be summer when I'm making this video, and it was the first thing I thought of. But that's something like a top that's going to fit close to your bodice to show off the narrowness of your bodice. And then on the bottom we have a roomier skirt and a wider leg pant. So that's also giving you that fit and flare silhouette. Now let's talk briefly about something that sucks. So unfortunately, certain body shapes are perceived as sexual and are sexualized, and the Pear shape happens to be one of those body shapes. Here in New York a few years ago, there was a story about a woman who was fired from her job at a bank because she was quote-unquote being too hot. You can Google it and find out what happened and what have you. It really sucks that certain body shapes are judged, and the way you look should not matter at work, but let's be real here. It does matter. If you're working in an industry where you aren't the boss, unfortunately, you have to kind of follow the rules sometimes. I'm not saying acquiesce when you feel that something is really wrong, but unfortunately, it's a hard battle. There are many facets to this, and again, I just don't have the time to go through it all in this video, so I'm just going to quickly talk about suits and workwear attire very, very quickly. So a curvy body is a curvy body, and a curvy body is going to look like a curvy body. But here are a few things that you can do. So remember that horizontal lines can widen. So I have very wide hips, and I make sure that because when I'm trying to balance, I make sure that the jacket doesn't end at the widest part of my hips, because that's just going to accentuate my hips. Now again, there is nothing wrong with having wider hips, but if you are trying to balance, make sure that the horizontal line does not hit where you are at your widest. So you want to make sure that your jackets fall below the widest part of your hips. Here I've made a comparison on, what a crop jacket will do versus what a longer jacket will do. Both look very stylish, but if you're looking to balance, you want to go with the gray suit on the left that has the longer length. Or you can add a blouse underneath that's longer so that that blouse covers over the widest part of your hips and balances you out. Voila! Now, if you are looking to accentuate the Pear shape, bring on the bodycon, honey. Yes. Show off that itty bitty waist and much back with a bodycon dress. And of course, bodycon is not the only way to accentuate a Pear shape. You can play with proportions with high waist skirts and jeans. By the way, high waist jeans with stretch are bae for the Pear shape. And play it up with a close fitting top on the top. If you're ever looking for style inspiration, make sure you follow me on Pinterest. I'll leave a link in the description box. And if you have a quick style question, tweet me at StylingBeautyDoc. I'll answer as many as possible. Okay, so now that was a lot of info, wasn't it? Now just remember that all body types, shapes, and sizes are gorgeous. This video was to help you to figure out what looks amazing, what's going to make you feel good because of your body type and size, okay? So I hope you learned tons from this video. Make sure you are subscribed. Let's keep the party going. Make sure you follow me on social via the links below. Leave me a comment. What's one tip that you learned in this video? Or if you have a question, leave it below. Let's keep it talking. Let's keep it chatting. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.